One infinity stone was never destroyed. Thanos buried it, where no god would look. But now, it's waking up beneath Earth's core. Superman hears it whisper. Thor feels it burn. Iron Man tracks its energy and lies about its origin. Each hero wants to protect the world, but for different reasons. The stone chooses one, but the others won't accept it. What begins as a mission ends in a god-level war. The last stone isn't dead. A tremor shook the earth. Not the kind measured by machines. This one screamed through minds. It crawled up spines, pulsed inside skulls. Deep beneath the planet's crust, something ancient stirred, and it was angry. Superman stopped mid-flight. His eyes flared red, scanning through mountains, oceans, tectonic plates. Something down there, something not from this world, was calling him. He hovered above the clouds, fists clenched, trying to resist the magnetic pull. But the whisper wouldn't stop. You are not the first. You are simply next. Meanwhile, in a hidden tower outside of Manhattan, Iron Man hovered inside a dark holographic dome. His AI Friday projected ancient Titan script across his helmet. Power signature matches the missing spectrum from the Infinity Array, sir. Tony Stark's face darkened. I knew it. Thanos didn't destroy all the stones. He leaned forward. Friday locked down the signal. Nobody else gets this. Not Thor. Not Strange. Not even Bruce. What about the Avengers? Tony sighed. Especially not them. Far away, in New Asgard, Thor felt lightning course through his veins, but the sky was clear. Birds fell silent. The Bifrost flickered for the first time in centuries. Stormbreaker twitched on its own, as if sniffing something older than gods. Thor narrowed his eyes. You dare awaken that thing? He turned to Heimdall's son. Prepare the gates. I return to Midgard. Superman dove through Earth's layers, faster than magma could melt his suit. His fists burned with heat as he tore deeper into the mantle. The whisper grew louder. Not speech, not sound, something more primal. Then he saw it. A stone, unlike any he had ever seen. Black but shifting, as if galaxies were trapped inside it. Red veins pulsed through its core, syncing with his own heartbeat. He reached out. The moment his fingers brushed it, the entire world paused. Flash. Superman saw an Earth ruled by him. Crime gone, hunger erased. All weapons turned to dust. And above it all, he stood in a black suit, with eyes glowing red and silver, the stone embedded in his chest. People bowed, but they didn't cheer. They feared him. He gasped back into the present, pulling his hand away, but the stone didn't let go. It hovered with him now, floating, sinking, like it had chosen him. From behind, a roar. Step away from that stone. Thor came crashing down like thunder incarnate, Stormbreaker spinning through the molten earth. Superman floated up, stone still orbiting him, his body steaming from the heat. I don't want to fight, he said. This is no fight, Thor growled. It's a warning. Stormbreaker spun once and launched toward him. Superman dodged, not because he couldn't take it, but because he didn't understand what this was yet. You don't even know what this thing is. Superman shouted. I do, Thor replied grimly. It's the last piece of the mad Titan soul. Elsewhere, Iron Man burst through the clouds in his new Mark XC suit. Stealth titanium, solar-fed boosters, vibranium-enhanced palm cannons. He scanned the scene from orbit. Of course Thor got here first. And of course Clark couldn't leave shiny things alone. He descended fast, voice sharp through external speakers. Gentlemen, let's not punch holes into the earth today. It's already kind of full. Thor pointed Stormbreaker at him. You knew about this, Stark. Tony didn't deny it. I suspected. For years. But I didn't think it would ever wake up. The three hovered in the burning cavern, ash swirling, stone pulsing, silence heavier than any battle. Superman spoke first. This thing showed me a future. So it's a liar, Tony said. No, Thor replied. It doesn't lie. It shows what could be. The Judgment Stone chooses a bearer and fulfills their hidden truth. Tony nodded. That's why Thanos hid it. Even he feared what it could do. Then the stone pulsed again, and this time it showed them all a vision together. A future where Superman ruled Earth. where Iron Man built machines to enforce his will, where Thor stood silent, chained to a throne, lightning held hostage. They all broke from the vision at once, sweating, stunned. "Nope," Tony said. "We're destroying it." "You can't destroy it," Thor said. "Even the mad Titan couldn't. He buried it here to sleep." Superman floated backward. "I won't let either of you take it." Thor raised Stormbreaker. "Then you leave me no choice." Stormbreaker thundered forward. Superman's eyes lit red. Iron Man fired. Explosion. Shockwaves ripped through the molten core. The earth itself trembled. And in the center of it, the stone vanished. Tony flipped midair. Where did it go? Superman scanned in every direction. Nothing. Then his eyes widened. "Wakanda," he whispered. Scene change. In the heart of Wakanda, Shuri stared at the vibranium vault that just opened itself, without code, without contact. Inside it, the stone hovered, waiting. Iron Man's secret protocol. Wakanda's night was quiet, until the stars started blinking. They weren't disappearing. They were being blocked. Something massive entered the upper atmosphere, cloaked, silent, unnatural. Beneath it, the vibranium vault shimmered, reacting before any alert was triggered. The Stone of Judgment had found a new hiding place. Inside the vault, the air vibrated. Vibranium veins across the chamber lit up in crimson pulses. Shuri stood alone, a tablet in one hand, the other hovering nervously above a hologram projecting alien symbols she couldn't decode fast enough. It wasn't just energy, it was rewriting gravity, light, even memory. Her AI whispered in panic, "Princess, it's alive." Before she could respond, it happened again. A vision, a world ruled by science. Stark towers across the planet, AI enforcing peace. People chipped and tracked. Shuri, a queen, standing in silence. Her people free of war, yes, but also of thought. When she blinked again, Iron Man was standing in front of her. "How did you?" Quantum jumped from orbit. "No time for customs," Tony said, stepping inside the vault. Repulsor raised but not aimed. "I need that stone, Shuri." Her face hardened. "You need to explain why you didn't tell anyone it existed." He didn't flinch. "Because they would have done what you're about to do. Try to control it. You're trying to steal it. I'm trying to contain it. Difference is, I have the blueprint." She pointed to the vault, then explained why it entered Wakanda on its own. "It came here. It wants something." Tony looked at the stone, hovering midair, spinning like it was deciding. "It wants judgment," he muttered. A deafening boom cracked the sky above them. Thor descended through Wakandan force fields like they were made of glass. "You will not touch it," he roared. Stormbreaker slammed into the ground, cratering the vibranium tiles. Lights shorted out. Guards came running, but hesitated. Nobody pointed a weapon at Thor. Nobody knew how. "Enough of this sneaking," Thor said. "That stone belongs to no man or machine." Shuri raised her hand. "You're both standing in Wakanda. This is our land." Tony gestured to her. "Exactly, which is why you'll help me neutralize it." Thor stepped forward. "No, we bury it again, in a star. I'll carry it myself if I must." Tony's helmet slid open. His voice went low. "We bury it until someone else finds it. Again, you saw what it does. You think hiding it helps? It just waits." The stone pulsed. This time, all three of them were pulled in, no warnings. Tony saw a world where he cured death, uploaded consciousness, and became the Earth's mind. Thor saw an Asgard reborn through fear, where he ruled over gods and mortals alike. Shuri saw Wakanda reach the stars by silencing every other nation. The stone dropped, slammed to the floor. Its glow dimmed. Tony grabbed it with a glove built from URU and vibranium alloy. A containment field hissed, then sparked. "No," he whispered. "It's resisting." The lights went out. Silence. Then came the roar of heat vision. Superman tore through the vault wall like it was paper. Shuri gasped. Thor stepped in front of her. Iron Man took flight. Superman hovered, eyes glowing, not from rage, but conflict. The stone pulled at him like gravity. "I didn't come to fight," he said. voice echoing in every language at once. But I can't let you take it. Tony hovered above. You're already bonded to it. That's why I called you. You're not resisting it anymore. I'm trying, Clark said, but it won't stop showing me peace. Thor's eyes narrowed. You mean control? Superman shook his head. I mean order. Real order. No wars. No pain. No death. Tony's voice hardened. No freedom. Superman floated downward, his boots barely touching the floor. The stone rose between them again, now no longer hovering randomly. It floated between Thor, Tony and him. 3 paths, 3 futures. Then the stone flashed again. This time, it showed them each other's failures. Tony saw Ultron again, only this time. He built him after Thanos was defeated. Willingly, to maintain order when governments collapsed. Thor saw himself abandoning Earth, letting Midgard burn in order to rebuild Valhalla. Superman saw himself vaporizing Lex Luthor, not because he had to, but because he wanted silence. None of them spoke. The stone pulsed once more, then teleported. Gone. Alarm screamed in Wakandan tech. Shuri's AI barely managed to trace the energy signal. It didn't go far, she said. It moved across timelines. Tony's suit flickered. Multiverse drift. Just like Strange warned us. Thor turned to Superman. What else did it show you? Superman clenched his fists. A future where I made the hard choices. You mean ruled, Tony said. We've been here before. Clark didn't deny it. I won't let anyone else become that. Not even me. Thor gripped Stormbreaker. Then help us destroy it. No, Tony said. We study it. Find its weakness. It's not just power, it's persuasion. I know where it's going next, Superman whispered. They looked at him. It wants someone else, he said. Someone who already lost everything. Someone who's already made impossible choices. Tony's helmet locked down. Bruce. The air snapped as Superman disappeared faster than thought. Thor looked at Tony. Your plan? I don't have one, Tony said, but I have a last resort. What is it? Tony tapped his chest. Protocol Judgment Day. Never heard of it. You weren't supposed to. Thor raised an eyebrow. Is it wise to hide secrets from gods? Tony's voice came through the helmet, distant. You're not the ones I'm hiding it from. And he launched back into the sky, leaving nothing behind but shattered tiles, burned out circuits, and a lingering hum in the air. The stone wasn't gone. It was choosing. The war for what could be. The skies above Wakanda hadn't recovered. Lightning scars still danced across the clouds. Magnetic fields refused to settle. And deep within the vibranium matrix, the aftershock of the stone's jump still echoed. But no one was watching the sky anymore, because Superman had disappeared, and so had the stone. In a remote Arctic facility Tony Stark once built as a failsafe for multiverse fallout, Bruce Banner stood alone, staring at a giant vault door. His fingers trembled, not from fear, but from knowing what was behind it. Something he never wanted to open again. He heard the hum before he saw the glow, and then he was no longer alone. The stone of judgment floated in front of him, slowly forming into a circular shape like a frozen eye. Bruce stepped back, heart racing. No, I'm not your candidate. But it didn't matter. The stone pulsed, and it showed him Hulk not as a monster, but as a savior, leading nations, erasing armies, a mind that finally mastered both rage and reason, a world rebuilt from rubble with him as the foundation, and behind it all, the whispers of Superman guiding it forward. Then Bruce blinked, and Superman stood there, just outside the vault. I didn't bring it here, Clark said. It chose you. I'm not what it wants, Bruce replied. Maybe you're what it needs. Bruce's voice cracked. If I take it, I won't come back. Clark didn't blink. Maybe that's the sacrifice. Before Bruce could respond, thunder split the ice. Thor crashed down like judgment itself, Stormbreaker spinning in fury. He didn't speak. He launched. Superman caught the axe mid-air, the collision sending shockwaves into the glacier wall. Not here, Clark warned. But Thor didn't care. He slammed his fist into Superman's chest, the force shattering the air and sending Clark through the vault wall. Bruce dove behind a terminal. Enough, Thor roared. No more trials. No more visions. I will end this now. Superman rocketed back, heat vision slicing inches from Thor's face. But Thor was faster. Lightning cloaked him as he slammed Stormbreaker against Superman's skull, sending solar blood spraying across the snow. Then came the third, Iron Man, not in red and gold, but in black. The God Killer armor, Zeta Protocol, a suit built for multiversal threats, powered by miniaturized Asgardian cores, woven with time-shifting alloys. Stark had been preparing for a threat like this, even if he didn't know who it would be. Turns out, it was all three of them. He landed hard between them, repulsors aimed at both. This ends now, Thor growled. You bring a weapon to a divine reckoning. Tony didn't blink. I bring options. The stone pulsed again, and now all three were inside a shared vision. A world where they had won. No more evil. No more chaos. Earth united. But it was a lie. Because behind every utopia was a cage. Behind every peaceful world was fear. People obeyed because they had no choice. They watched it burn from above. Superman in a black cape. Thor with silver eyes. Iron Man as a floating AI that ruled Earth's network. No laughter. No rebellion. Just silence. Then the vision ended, and the fight began. Thor launched first, lightning crashing across Tony's armor. He absorbed it, redirected it, blasted Thor into the sky with amplified force. Superman flew low under Tony's arc field, grabbing his suit's spinal core and yanking it midair, causing a power dip. Tony rolled, flipped, unleashed a sonic pulse that momentarily blurred Superman's senses, and for a second, had them both in his sights. He hesitated. The stone was manipulating him. Tony whispered, "This isn't us." But Thor didn't hear. He came down again, this time aiming to split the ground. Stormbreaker cracked the Earth's surface, a chasm splitting through the glacier. Bruce stood at the edge, watching, trembling. Then he stepped forward. "I can end this," he whispered. They didn't hear him, because the stone heard him. It launched from the sky and slammed into Bruce's chest, and everything froze. Thor hovered mid-attack. Superman locked mid-flight. Iron Man's thrusters stalled mid-aim. The entire world paused. Inside his mind, Bruce stood in a void of stars, facing all versions of himself. Savage Hulk, Professor Hulk, Worldbreaker Hulk, Grey Hulk, Devil Hulk. Each one stared at him. Then they all kneeled. The stone asked him one question. "Will you judge them?" Bruce fell to his knees. "I can't." "Then who will?" He opened his eyes, and time resumed. But Bruce was different now. Glowing, transformed. No longer green. No longer human. His skin shimmered with fragments of cosmic thought. His eyes burned with golden light. He floated off the ground without effort. Superman looked at him and whispered, "What are you?" Bruce's voice echoed like a chorus, the balance. Tony stepped forward. "Bruce, whatever it showed you, it's lying." "I know," Bruce said calmly, "but that doesn't make it wrong." Thor raised Stormbreaker again. "Step back or be cut down." Bruce raised a finger, and the sky cracked in half. Stormbreaker disintegrated into dust. Everyone froze. Bruce turned to Tony. "You were right. The stone doesn't want destruction. It wants destiny." Superman approached slowly, then let it go. Bruce looked down at his hands, and in that moment he did. The stone lifted from his chest and shattered, not into debris, but into fragments of possibility. Each one pulsed outward, vanishing across dimensions. The snow fell again. The vault lights flickered back on. Bruce fell forward, caught by Superman before he hit the ice. The God Killer armor collapsed to one knee. Thor stood still, hands trembling. It was over. Or it should have been. Because far away, across the edge of known space, one of the fragments blinked and landed in the palm of a girl with red eyes and no name. She smiled. Superman the judge. The world changed without a single vote. Missiles stopped launching. Prisons unlocked. Banks froze. Police departments powered down. Countries surrendered not to force, but to something else entirely, a presence. Superman hovered above Earth, not speaking, not commanding. He didn't need to. The fragments of the Stone of Judgment were gone, scattered across space. But something still lingered inside him. A frequency, a code, a decision, and the world responded. Wars ceased. Dictators stepped down. Technology rewrote itself. People started seeing visions, not of him, but of their own futures, their worst selves, their most dangerous possibilities. They didn't want to fight anymore. But peace without permission is still control. In the watchtower orbiting Earth, Batman watched it all in silence. "He's not leading," Bruce whispered. "He's judging." Inside the holograms, live feeds flickered with eerie stillness, riots vanishing, enemies uniting, chaos dissolving into harmony. Green Lantern stood nearby. "What's the plan?" Batman didn't blink. "If Superman doesn't step down, we activate the override." "Protocol Last Son?" "No," Batman said. "Protocol Kryptonfall." Down below, Thor soared through the clouds, wind roaring past him as he searched for signs of the stone's power. But it wasn't the stone anymore. It was Superman himself. Thor landed in New York as streets emptied around him. People no longer shouted or ran or even stared. They simply nodded, like they already knew what was coming. He found Tony waiting on a rooftop. "I thought it was over," Thor muttered. Tony didn't answer. His armor was different, thinner, darker. He'd already begun building again, planning again. "Did you feel it?" Tony asked. Thor nodded. "It's not magic, it's certainty." Tony's hands trembled. "He's not asking us to trust him. He's already decided." Far away, above Metropolis, Superman hovered alone. He hadn't slept. He hadn't spoken. But he had seen every possible path. And in all of them, someone broke the world. So he decided, no one gets to make that mistake again. Until Thor arrived. "You become what you swore to stop." Superman didn't turn. "You're afraid of what I see." "I'm afraid of what you've already done." Lightning snapped. Superman didn't flinch. Thor flew toward him, Stormbreaker reforged by Odin's secret magic. But Superman caught it mid-swing, crushed the axe with a flick of his wrist, and held Thor by the throat in midair. "You still think this is a choice?" Clark whispered. Iron Man slammed into them both. His newest suit wasn't built for combat, it was built to blind. Flashbangs detonated across the spectrum, and for a split second, Superman faltered. Thor gasped for breath. Tony hovered beside him. "We can't beat him. We need to reach what's left of him." But Superman's eyes glowed with layered energy, red, white, gold. "No more chances," he said. And then he erased their powers. Thor fell, lightning severed. Tony's arc reactor powered down, his suit collapsing midair. Superman hovered alone above them. The world watched in silence. Then a small voice. Lois. Her voice, broadcast from an old analog signal, crackled into the void. "Clark, come home." His eyes flickered. She said it again. "Come home. You don't have to fix everything." And just like that, he stopped. He closed his eyes. The world breathed again. Superman fell to his knees midair and slowly descended. He didn't speak. He just whispered something only the sky could hear. "I wanted peace." And the world forgave him. For now. The stone breaks. Superman stood on the rooftop where it all began. Metropolis was silent. Not dead, just waiting. The world had felt the power shift. Even though the stone had shattered, fragments of its judgment still pulsed inside him. He had stopped, but the world hadn't forgotten. Down below, people watched him like they were watching a storm cloud that hadn't rained yet. Thor arrived without thunder. No grand entrance, just presence. His armor was burned, his eyes dimmer. "You could have ended us," he said quietly. Superman didn't look back. That was the old ending. Tony arrived next, limping in a rebuilt, minimalist armor. No red, just chrome and black. He stood on the ledge, eyes scanning Clark's profile. "We were never going to be enough, were we?" Tony asked. "To hold it, to stop it, to understand it." Superman's voice was steady. The stone didn't want understanding. It wanted obedience. "And you gave it," Thor said, voice edged. "I gave it what I had to, until I remembered what I am." Tony's voice softened. "Clark Kent." Superman turned. Exactly. Behind them, the air shimmered. A tear in space. The fragments of the stone began pulsing again. Not one, dozens. From across timelines. Multiverse echoes. Future loops. Failures. And one by one, they began returning. Through portals. Through cracks. Through people. A girl from Earth, 319, with red eyes and no name. A boy from Earth, 12, who never stopped the war. A monster from Earth X, who wore a cape of bone. Each held a fragment. Each stepped forward. The stone wanted to rebuild itself. It was sentient now. It had judged the multiverse and chosen only survivors. Thor lifted Stormbreaker, reforged again. Tony's armor lit up with emergency overrides. But Superman raised his hand. No, he stepped forward. The fragments hovered around him, waiting. "What will you do?" the girl with red eyes asked. Clark floated an inch above the rooftop. Wind caught his cape. His voice was calm. "I won't destroy you. I won't hide you. I won't give you away. I will absorb you." The fragments screamed. Thor reached for his axe. Tony stepped forward to stop him, but it was too late. Superman pulled the fragments into his chest, one by one. Light exploded. The skyline vanished. Time fractured. For a moment, there was only him. Inside his mind, he saw every choice, every variant, every possibility, every planet that could burn or rise based on a single word. He saw himself as a tyrant, as a god, as a corpse, as a savior. And then he saw something else, a version of himself with no powers, just hope. He opened his eyes. The light was gone. The rooftop was empty. He was standing alone. No cape, no heat vision, no X-ray sight. It was over. The stone had judged him, and it had let him go. The power was gone, all of it. Tony and Thor landed beside him. "You good?" Tony asked. Clark smiled. "I think I finally am." Thor tilted his head. "You would give up power to stay human." Superman nodded. "That's the whole point." Behind them, the sky cleared for the first time in days. And far above, across the edge of the observable universe, a final fragment floated through space, silent, unseen, until it touched the edge of a black hole and blinked red. End of story. You just finished the full 5-part cinematic saga. Thanos left one stone behind, and Superman, Iron Man, and Thor all fought to control it.